You're hired! 3 mistakes to avoid when an employer asks you for references. You've applied to the job and the application requests references, or you have successfully navigated the interview process and the employer has now asked you to provide references. In either scenario, there are 3 mistakes that you need to avoid so that your references will help you to close the deal and get the job offer. Mistake number 1 to avoid when an employer asks you for references: picking the wrong references. Your references should be people who know you well, and they should be familiar with the skills and experience that qualify you to do the job that you are seeking. For example, if you are a candidate for a position as a researcher, you should provide references who can speak to your skills and experience conducting research. While you may and likely will also have skills in other areas, your references must be able to speak specifically to your ability to do the job. Ideally, for your professional references, these would be supervisors. But if that is not possible, colleagues who are familiar with your relevant skills and experience can also provide references. That brings us to mistake number 2 to avoid when an employer asks you for references: failing to confirm that your potential references are willing and eager to be your references. This is an important step that a lot of candidates skip because they simply assume that past supervisors and colleagues will be happy to serve as references. You should reach out to your potential references to assess their willingness and enthusiasm to serve as your reference. You may not always get the response that you are expecting. For example, a potential reference may suggest that someone else would be in a better position to serve as your reference. They could say that they do not feel comfortable serving as a reference. Some organizations have policies that actually prohibit employees from providing references or require that all references go through human resources. A bad or lukewarm reference, or providing a reference who is unwilling or unable to serve as a reference, could completely tank your application. Now that brings us to mistake number 3 to avoid when an employer asks you for references: failing to properly prepare your references. Once you have determined the best people to serve as your references, and the people you have selected have confirmed their willingness and enthusiasm to serve as your references, you must dedicate time to preparing them. I recommend that you provide a copy of the job posting, as well as your resume and a cover letter if one was submitted. You should also provide each of your references with a written summary of the aspects of your background and experience that you wish for them to highlight during the reference. This should include specific examples of your relevant prior work experience and accomplishments. Many jobs come down to 2 or 3 final candidates, so your references can be critical in allowing you to stand out as the superior candidate. By properly preparing your references, you will make it as easy as possible for them to provide a great reference. And of course, remember to thank your references and to let them know whether or not you ultimately received an offer and accepted a position. You may come back to them again in the future. So to recap, today we covered 3 mistakes to avoid when an employer asks for references. Mistake number 1, picking the wrong references. Mistake number 2, failing to confirm that your potential references are willing and eager to be your references. And mistake number 3, failing to properly prepare your references. Please remember to follow and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.